Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to kind of a random video. But I found this really cool. Well, actually, I use this for my college football predictions. But I use this for my college football predictions. But they actually do NFL too, and I wanted to talk about the Giants. I've been wanting to talk about the Giants. Um, and I got this. So I'm here with the Giants schedule. I wanted to pump out a random video because it's been eons since I've posted a video, and we're only 100 days away. Or actually, I'm not sure if that's we're like 100 days away from it being college football time, and then a couple weeks later it'll be NFL time. And I don't really talk a lot about the NFL because I'm the college football guy. I know way more about college football than I do about the NFL. But considering that I have been watching the Cardinals a lot more, and since I was so invested in college football last year, I want to see how all the college football players that went to the draft do this year. I will be more invested into the NFL. I said I would last year. I didn't, but I will be more invested into the NFL this year because I'm excited to see how all of these players play. And so I want to talk about the Giants. The Giants are obviously, I feel like they're one of the most talked about teams this offseason because of how good their draft was and how difficult their damn schedule is. They have by far the hardest schedule, and they're in by far the hardest conference. I feel like the Giants are not getting enough love, though. People are saying this team is going to be a 3-win, 4-win, 5-win team. I just don't. I just think they might shock some people, not by a crazy amount, but I do feel like they will be better. I mean, people are giving them the games that are like the more obvious wins, like the easy ones, like they'll beat the Saints, and then they might beat the Bears, and then they might beat the Patriots and the Raiders, and those will be their 4 wins. Like, we got to dig a little deeper here. This is the NFL we're talking about, and the Browns beat the Ravens last year. There's plenty of upsets that happen that a team will do. They do it all the time. So I'm here to talk about them because I also feel like there's just a lot of key components to this team that is being added, and the Giants are cooking. All right, so first off, they obviously last year got Malik Neighbors, which was a huge wide receiver pick. He was great in his rookie year. Will he have a sophomore slump? He could. I feel like he could regress a little bit, but nothing crazy. A lot of his numbers, and I did think this as well, came in poop time. And while numbers are numbers, he was still a great wide receiver. But I feel like he wasn't the best rookie receiver. I feel like the best rookie receiver was the Brian Thomas Jr. from Jaguars. I feel like he was the best rookie wide receiver. But Malik was still a very close second. Both went to LSU. Malik Neighbors is coming back to his sophomore year. Will he have a sophomore slump, or will he improve because he has an actual quarterback? We will see, but they also have another wide receiver that has fallen completely off of the radar, which I feel like he has suffered from the team around him. That is Jalin Hyatt. Jalin Hyatt was a dog at Tennessee. He was a great wide receiver, constantly a deep ball threat. Now that he has Malik Neighbors on the field, I feel like Jalin Hyatt can be a much better wide receiver, especially if he gets a competent quarterback on his team like Jackson Dart, or if Jackson Dart lives up to that potential, of course. I feel like Jalin Hyatt could become another really good wide receiver that kind of sparks out of nowhere. He was great in college. He's been like not the best in the NFL, but I feel like that's largely due to the team around him and the way he's been put into situations. He pretty much had to play into like receiver one, and because the Giants didn't really have anybody. Malik Neighbors came in, and I'm not really sure if Jalin Hyatt had a good year. That's mainly because I was not paying attention to the Giants at all. But all I know is he was great in college. He was great in college. His production decreased, it says here, after Malik Neighbors. And he only started 3 games, which is evil to the man. Evil to the man. But I feel like he is going to I feel like he's going to be a great other option that kind of sparks out of nowhere. But they also, another thing that I hope the Giants don't do as a mistake would be to play Russell Wilson as the starter. I feel like you got to go with your rookies here. You've got a very young team, and you got to keep it young. I don't feel like you put in washed old Unk in the lineup who has not been playing good. I would say he has not been playing good for many teams that he's joined. I feel like you got to go with Jackson Dart here. Russell Wilson coaches him up and trains him and stuff. Jackson Dart starts. I feel like we got to go young here. You've got a bunch of young rookies or entering their second year. I don't feel like Russell Wilson is the answer. Now, maybe he is. I could just be a dumbass, but I feel like you really got to start Jackson Dart here. I didn't really anticipate that. If Russell Wilson is the starter, I have less faith in this Giants team, but I do feel like Jackson Dart will eventually get his start. He was a first-round pick. I feel like he will get the start eventually. But also, they picked the luxury pick of Abdul Carter, which is a great luxury pick because that number at Penn State is notorious. And he's going to be a great defensive addition. Just a great player. Unless injuries just destroy him, I feel like he's going to be fantastic for the Giants and a really good pick. But then you also get in the top of the fourth round, bias aside, an absolute steal of Cam Skattebo. You have now a lethal running back room for the Giants. You've got Tyrone Tracy. I'm not sure where Devin Singletary is, if he's still at the Giants or if he's gone. And then you've got Cam Skattebo. If you've got all three of those guys, that's even better. But if you just have Tyrone Tracy and Cam Skattebo, you've got a brutal running back room. And it just, to me, it seems like Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, it seems like that. Like Tyrone Tracy would be like Jahmyr Gibbs, and Cam Skattebo would be like David Montgomery. I feel like, and that is one of the biggest luxuries for the Lions, is having such a brutal running back room like that. They destroy teams on the floor, and you could be seeing the Giants build something like that with Cam Skattebo, and I feel like Cam Skattebo, along with a lot of the other running backs in this draft, are going to be great. This is one of the best running back drafts we've ever seen. I feel like Cam Skattebo is going to be one of them, bias aside. He's just a great player, man. Just look at him in college. Obviously, college doesn't correlate to the NFL, but it's hard to deny. So let's go with a little bit of like a predictor here, since I'm actually able to do it. I filmed the video just talking about it, but I wasn't actually able to do any predictors. So I feel like the Commanders got game one. I feel like the Commanders got game one. We can definitely go with that. Commanders got game one for sure. The Cowboys are interesting because they add George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. They get Dak Prescott back. They could be a really good team offensively, or they could be mediocre. I'll give game one to the Cowboys as well. Give me the Chiefs. That could be a interesting game, though, at the Giants. The Chiefs really struggled to pull a lot of games out of their ass last year. They could regress a bit, but they did pretty all right in their draft. Let's see, who did the Chargers pick? The Chargers did not impress me that much with their picks. Yeah, why not? You got to pick games like this. After all, the Giants beat the Seahawks like out of nowhere last year. The Browns beat the Ravens. Like there's games that go like that. And honestly, I'm confident in taking the Saints. I feel like the Saints are going to be a bit better than last year, and this will be a really close game. Give me the Eagles at the Broncos. Broncos are going to be a damn good team. Give me the Eagles again. 49ers are going to be better as well, but give me the Giants over the Bears. I feel like the Bears could improve as well, but new head coach, still struggling to get things done. I think Keenan Allen is gone. I think the Giants can win on the road there. I also feel like the Giants, they can definitely win there. Are these a part of the postseason or the preseason? No. Okay. I feel like the Giants could maybe beat the Packers. I do feel like the Packers are going to regress a bit. I don't think they're going to be as good. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go with it. Win over there, win there. We'll give the Commanders that, and we'll finish off with a win for the Giants, putting them at 7-10. That's pretty high for the Giants, but I do feel like this team can be way better. I feel like they can be way better than people expect them to be, because they just did so good in their draft, and they had talent from last year. This to me is what the Cardinals should have been last year. And this is the path that the Cardinals took. They were 4-something, adding on great players like Trey McBride and finding some real life in their team when they beat the Eagles. But the next year they add Marvin Harrison, and they make some great additions, and they go 8-9. Barely missing the playoffs. I feel like that's the path that the Giants are going to take right now. They're going to go from 4 and whatever to like 8-9 or 7-10. You can maybe give the Giants like a win against the 49ers or something. This is very doable. And I'm even giving them a loss against the Saints. I mean, if a 7-10 team is by all means not a bad football team, they're playing. Oh, that's one thing. People probably shitting bricks about this. I just think the Vikings are going to be a team that are going to regress. They did it. They were a really good team, really good football team. Went to the playoffs and lost to the Giants. I think, ironic, to the Giants, and then they bounced back the next season, and they were just nowhere near the same. And then they turn around and have a really good year all of a sudden. And now Sam Darnold is gone after getting shit on in the playoffs, and you start with J.J. McCarthy. I think this team is going to be a lot worse than they were last year, to say the least. And the fact of the matter is I don't think they were actually that good. They won a lot of close games. Just like the Chiefs, they could have been like, if a couple games didn't go their way, they could have been like 9-8 or something. But I take that back. 14-3 is good, because this is the problem. I always trick myself with this mentality is like, oh, they lost a lot of close games. They're actually way better than you think they are. But then the team that won a bunch of close games, it's like, well, they actually won a bunch of close games. They're actually a lot worse than they should be, or than that they really are, than the record says. So basically, if you lose a close game, you're better than the other team, and the other team got lucky and they're actually worse. That mentality tricks me a lot, and I need to fix that. A win is a win. So the Vikings were a pretty good football team, and they did beat the Packers twice. They played really close against the Lions, but when it came down to playoff time, they sucked. I think they're losing material, and I don't think they're going to be as good. I think they might go like 10-7 or 9-8 with a loss to the Giants. But I do feel like the Giants are going to be a much better team than people are giving them credit for. I don't want to fall for like a Jets sort of thing or a Bears thing, when we all thought those two teams were going to improve drastically, and they ended up just being dog water. And I don't want to fall for that. There's still time, but this is the path that the Cardinals took. Cardinals went from 4-13 to like 8-9, barely missing the playoffs by an overtime loss to the Panthers and a ricochet off of Trey McBride's helmet in the end zone. That's how close they were to the playoffs. I feel like the Giants, with their schedule, it's way more brutal than the Cardinals, so it's going to hit them harder. But I do think this team is going to be a lot better than people are going to give them credit for. And then they're going to have that weird mid-round pick. They're going to make some changes, and they're going to be a playoff team, which could kind of tell you how I feel about the Cardinals this year. I feel like the Cardinals are going to be a pretty big playoff team this year. But I just wanted to talk about the Giants just because this is a team that I'm pretty high on, and I talk to my friends about it a lot. But I also want to start making videos again, starting to get back into football time. We're only 3 months away from football, so I want to post what I can to start things back up. It's been like 7 months or something since I've last posted. That ASU loss really just killed my spirit, along with the Cardinals missing the playoffs. That was pretty brutal, but we are back and ready for next season. So with that being said, like and subscribe to have a comment. Always helps. That's all for me. Adios.